Hi, I'm Janet Von Schmeling, and we are here for a very glittery and girly episode of Victory TV. I'm honored to be here with my bonus mom, Barbara Von Schmeling, and Patty Sipple. Thanks for sitting with us here in this gorgeous setup today.
Thank you. This is so exciting. I love the whole Greek goddess.
Yes, well, we came prepared with all of our feminine freedom gear, and I'm so excited to get to talk about that. But I really quickly wanted to talk about us here and how Patty and Barbara, you know each other, and we're all, Victory families.
Yes. Yeah, so we are friends. It was so interesting. 4 years ago, we met through a mutual friend. And then as soon as we met, we found out that Patty had just started Victory. She started taking class with her son, Connor, at Victory Ocoee, right? With Mr. Graham and Master Neri at the time. Yes. So that was how the connection was made. And then we became friends and we continue to be friends. And then later, Patty became part also of Feminine Freedom. And
I heard a conversation about feminine freedom and I got interested, and it was the best thing for me because I was able to, with her, learn the masculine side of being in Victory and the feminine side of being feminine freedom. So that has been amazing for me.
Yes. And just maybe to clarify a little bit, because not many people have the awareness of what feminine energy and masculine energy is. Masculine energy, which I feel that at Victory, we bring a lot of that energy out. And it has nothing to do with being a man or a woman, but it's more about the energies that we have running through our bodies. And the masculine energy is more of an action-driven energy, the one who propels us to achieve things that we want and to fight for the things that we believe. So that is what the masculine energy is about. But the feminine energy is more about love and nurturing and enjoyment and fun. So bringing all that together is, for me, my purpose and my mission with Feminine Freedom is to create awareness for women around that energy. So the result can be more fulfillment, more happiness, more alignment with their own selves, and also more, I would say, polarity if you have a relationship. Because if you have a relationship with, in your case, with your husband, I know that was a huge, I would say, defiant, right?
Yeah.
That you can maybe talk a little bit more about that.
It was the minute that I started understanding my feminine side, understanding how it was flowing inside of me, but I was not really
tapping into
it. The minute I started changing, I could see how my husband was seeing me as also this delicate goddess.
Oh.
I mean, the way he started
Who doesn't want that?
to address me, to treat me, and eventually his masculine energy, which he's an Iron Man, he does taekwondo as well.
Oh yeah.
But he just started racing more because he wanted to protect me, to provide for me. And it's all thanks to basically just me learning about my feminine energy and how to move it, how to use it.
Right, because what happens many times, I think, because as women, and you were in that path as well, that you grew up in circumstances of your life brought you to become super independent and having to provide for yourself and your family. I know with your older son, Diego, right? So you were in that position. And then what happens is that many times we think we need to do it all by ourselves and we are on our own and we don't have support. And we end up really standing in that. It's a very powerful thing, but at the same time, we pretty much push away the other counterpart, right? Yes, because you keep your guard up and then
shield.
Right. And then for a man, if he feels that he's not needed, now he's not able to provide, which that is his essence, right? As a man,
exactly.
right? So now that you were able to surrender a little more to that energy and embrace more your own, now your husband now can be really the provider and the protector of you because surrender. And feeling free, right? To be yourself.
Yes.
But it's a journey. It's so interesting because I remember the first little event that we put together. We put a couples event together. Your dad and I, and it was only for 10 couples. Just because one time we were talking to someone and they were having some issues in their marriage. We're trying to help them, and then they said, "Oh my gosh, this is so great! You guys should put an event together." And we're like, "Okay, let's do it." So we did it, and it was only 10 couples, and we did it at Victory headquarters.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like way back.
Yeah, way back. Yeah. That was like during the pandemic.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so we put the little event together, and I remember Patty, because then our friends invited her, and we talked about it, and she said, "No, I can't go because I never let Connor alone.
Right.
And Connor was what, like 6
6. I mean,
at the
6.
time?
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Never,
for 6
never left
years,
him alone.
She never left him alone.
With another person. Not,
Not with the babysitter.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah, she was
Wow.
like, she would never do that. And I was like, Patty, that is the reason you have to come, because you need to make time
For
to
you.
be with your husband, just both of you, not just being in that mom role, right?
Right,
You
yes.
need to find a little bit more of that, maybe fun
Yes.
and life and
Glittery.
lover and
Yeah.
more of like that for yourself. So that was like a challenge for her, but she did it. She made it. And then after that, she
After
was like,
4 years, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every retreat has helped me every time discover more because there's always more that you can show for your husband, for my
your-
male friends. I feel like even to male friends that I have, I address them better. I like empower him. And to the women also, my lady friends, the same thing. Like it has completely changed the way I talk to them, I see them. I mean, it's a whole world change.
and because this space, and you've been in it so many times also, it's really about loving, supporting each other, and being that energy of a sisterhood. And it's not something that is so common. And that's one of the things that I hear the most from the women who come, is how much love they feel and how much support they receive from everyone else, because out in the world, they're being attacked by each other. Women are not so gracious with each other. And in this space, it's so beautiful and it's so powerful. And it feels really good.
It does feel good, and it really is like this, that, you know, that slumber party feeling where you get to stay up all night and play with each other's hair and paint each other's nails, and it's like it really is going back to that childlike, you know, how we see, you know, Annabella and Connor, they're out there and they're playing, they're getting dirty, and it's just this like innocent, fun playfulness, and that's how I feel every time that we leave those retreats. Like, oh, I just want to like run around and sing and dance, and you mentioned all the different retreats, and maybe we can get into that a little bit, because each one is different. And even when it's the same series, it's still all very different. So we could get into that, because I know we have one coming up.
Right. We just came back, right? From Sedona for
we were all in Arizona.
for the awakening retreat. And that retreat for me is so special. I keep going back to Sedona for some reason. The awakening is really about awakening all parts of you and connecting to nature. That's why I chose Sedona the first time I did it. And this is the 4th one that we do it there. And it just, every time is different. And I feel like every time is better. And all the events that we do also, even though they are in the same place and have the same name, they have a different content,
A different essence.
a totally
They
different
do.
essence. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I also want women to come back and experience something different. Because even we could do the same thing, because I believe also when we are in different moments of our lives, we learn different things.
You
right?
receive differently.
Yes, exactly.
Definitely.
You
Can
receive
attest
it
to that.
differently.
Yes.
But at the same time, we like to create some different experiences. I mean, you were in Sedona last year as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So we both did.
Yeah, you both were
together,
there. Yeah. And this time was completely different. In my view, I think it was a very different
More than
experience.
anything, because every year we each grow, like you
Yeah.
say. So every time we get together, we have something new to share.
Yeah.
And with the new ladies that came this year, right, we welcome them, we receive their energy. I mean, it's just, you learn. I mean, I come out learning every year from you, from all my other sisters that I've seen them for 4 years. It's not like, oh, it was the same. Never the same.
It's never the same.
Never the same.
And then we have the Warrior Goddess event coming up in March. And I'm super excited. This year, we actually did it for the first time, because Warrior Goddess, I've been doing it also for about 4 years.
wow.
And it's also a really incredible event. It's longer than the Awakening. It's a day longer. So we get to dive a little bit deeper into other aspects of ourselves. Because I believe we have that warrior energy. It's more of that masculine energy. And we have the feminine goddess energy, which is, about really, I used to think feminine energy was about being submissive and I don't know, manipulative. It was just, that was my perception of feminine energy. But then when I learned what really is, it's really powerful. And that's why I decided to start to share this with everyone, because I feel there's so much of our own life that we're missing when we don't tap into that side of ourselves. Right.
We've talked about this before, the misconception of feminine energy being weak or submissive, and it's just the total opposite.
No, yeah, it is. It's like the sun and the moon. They both have their role and they play their parts. And that's what happens with us as women. If we are the moon, we will be a little softer. We will be a little more romantic maybe, but extremely important and influential in everything that happens in the planet. But then you have the sun, if you attach that to a masculine energy, right, which is a totally opposite. It has a whole different role in the planet, but it's just as important. So that's where the feminine and the masculine come together to complement each other. Yeah, like the sun and the moon. So we did Warrior Goddess, and again, next year I'm super excited to bring this back. It's an event that I'm so in love with because we bring a little bit of martial arts in it, because we tap into the warrior energy, but we also tap into all the other aspects of ourselves as women, as a mother, as a lover, as a playful, as a friend. Yeah. Because we're not just linear, right? We're not just one thing. So the Warrior Goddess encompasses all that. And then this year we had this, actually a request from many of the women. They requested for us to do something with their husbands. They're like, okay, I'm growing in all this. Like, how can my husband be supported also? So your dad, Sergio, he put an event together at the same time. So we had the Warrior Goddesses in one room, and we had the Warrior Kings, right? Which was super fun. They had a blast.
Yeah.
Some of the girls were like jealous of what they were doing. I was like, okay, you gotta be here, because they went like throwing axes and shooting and obstacle courses, and we connected. They were like a group of very successful businessmen that came together, also learned a lot from each other, had a great time, had great dinners together, great activities, and a lot of personal growth involved in that. And then we added one bonus day for the couples to come together in relationship. Yeah, and that was like the cherry on top, and everyone really loved it. So we're bringing that again. We're going to have the Warrior Goddess, the Warrior King, and the Empowered Love, which is going to be that day of love. You were there.
Yeah,
with Jim.
It's so sweet. It's so nice. Well, it's like we were in the same place for a week, but we were missing each other so much, and we were only one door away, you know. So sometimes we would like sneak. Do you want to go to the bathroom at the same time? You know, I felt like I was in high school. It's it is really fun. It's such a fun event, and conveniently it's in Orlando.
There's an Orlando.
So we have to go.
Yes.
Oh yes, you're definitely going.
And what I love about that is that the first time I came back from the event, Jason didn't know what to do with me.
Right.
I came back like this goddess. And I'm like, not the Patty that he knew before. Yeah. And he didn't know what to do. So when
what was his reaction? Yeah.
Nothing. He was just like watching me, kind of like going with the flow. And that was the hurricane. The first time was the hurricane. So we had a hurricane.
Yeah.
But then when Jason learned about this, now he understands, why am I being, with my feminine freedom? So he values and appreciates that. So I think that's why it's important that you and Sergio do this together. So then men also know how to embrace us and protect us and see, oh, this is why she's feeling this way. Because some men also, they don't know when we want to be vulnerable,
right? That
they have to welcome us and, open their arms to us. So it is important. I that's the part that I love.
It is. And it's so beautiful, because when I started my own journey, it kind of happened the same way. I started my journey into this whole new world. I had to communicate that with Sergio because he also didn't understand what was happening. And he had in his mind was like a completely different thing that I was doing. But as we communicated, he understood that, yes, now this is how I see this. Okay, I rised up into my own essence, right? And now I feel more free to be myself, and I'm more open, and I'm just more vulnerable, like you said, and surrender, right, to it. Now his own healthy masculine energy needs to also raise, because now it's almost like, okay, now I need to be this bigger protector so you can be more free and be more yourself. And then once I felt free and protected, I'm like, I can be even freer. I can be more myself, because it's okay. Because also, like we talked before, we grow up and we are so conditioned to put so many walls up, and we have to guard ourselves up so much that is hard to surrender. It is hard to be ourselves. But then once we feel that it's okay, now I can really step into my own power, my own essence as a woman, and feel protected and feel safe.
Yes.
Because many of us don't feel safe to be ourselves.
No, I mean, we're just safe to be women, by yourself.
And it's not very safe in the world. So when we feel that it's okay, now our partners get to create that safety.
And they feel stronger. I mean,
Yes,
I can feel my husband.
Yeah.
He knows. He's like, I have to take care of her. I have to, like, it's not because there's somebody ready to, do something to me.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just the energy inside. Like, I feel Jason's got me, and he knows. He puts my arms around and he's like, I have you. I got you. Is that?
And we all want to hear that because, I have a daughter, and
I was just going to say that. I'm like, and your son is seeing this and your daughter's seeing this. And imagine like their relationships now, 10 years from now, it's just going to be so different seeing this now,
And it's not really about becoming dependent on someone, because with my own daughter, I want her to be able to do things on her own and to take care of herself. I mean, that's absolutely, but also to welcome and to receive that from someone one day in her life, right?
Absolutely.
So she can actually have that polarity in that relationship. So it's not about being completely independent. It's just being interdependent. Yes, I am an independent being, and now I can trust you to help me. Yes, to support me. And it's like on our wedding day, it was so beautiful. We had the ceremony and we had 2 candles, and he said, our I don't even know how to say it. He wasn't a pastor, but he was a minister? Whatever it was. Yes. So he came and said, okay, this candle is Barbara, this candle is Sergio. Now you're lighting up a 3rd candle together. You still yourselves, but now you have this is of your partnership, right? But that candle is still burning because we're still ourselves. We still need to be connected to who we are, but now we come together and we build something even stronger and more beautiful, right? So I think that's what needs to happen in relationship, that I am an independent being. He is an independent being. We're whole and complete as we are, but we can build so much more together, right? Because we came from a place of wholeness also.
Yeah.
So that becomes even more powerful. It's not a dependency on... Anyway.
Right.
And I wanted to talk about the wings, because something Patty said to me that I carry when I'm home is that when she puts them on, it kind of like, and everyone in the house knows too, that when she's wearing her wings, she's in flow, and like even her son. And I love that, because it's like, mommy is, flowing right now. Like, we need something. It's going to take a little second, relax,
Different, or they know that I am like, talk to me, in a different way. It does change when they see me flowing down with the upstairs and downstairs with the wings. It's different. I can see the way even Jason looks at me is totally different. So,
I believe what we put on our body can trigger different things.
Yeah.
Right? So let's say if I'm wearing something that is flowy and it feels beautiful on my body, is very different. Or if my hair is down, I feel different. Like in martial arts, I wear my hair up all the time, and I have that tight belt around my waist. So it's like, it triggers a different feeling on me.
Totally.
Right. So wearing these, for me, I also feel like I'm flowing. Even today, I'm like, what am I going to wear? I'm going to be flowing because that's what I want to talk about. Right. And you're right.
It's so funny. I have to say, so I put this on to go to the office because I was like, I knew I was coming here right after. But then as soon as I about to walk in the office, I was like, oh no, I have to get like some stuff done before, because I was already in a flow. I was running late. I was taking time doing my makeup, and I was like, wait, I have to go to work first before this. So I put on my victory jacket, took this off, and then so it really does. It like triggers this mindset, because I was at the house, Patty. I was taking my time. I was late. I was like, no, it's because I was wearing the wings.
And it's so funny because the other day, Christina, my sister, she said, oh, I got caught on the doorknob and you ripped, And I said, were you running? Were you rushing? Yeah. And I said, okay, when you wear this, you're not supposed to be rushing. You're supposed to
get caught on the door. It does get caught.
I guess.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and it's so exciting because these wings, I have been in love with this brand for maybe like 7 years now. I've been buying from this brand, and it's a lady in Bali. She designed these, and it's so beautiful. They take months to be made because they hand draw all the wings and they hand paint them, and it's so beautiful. And I bought so much from her. I actually have probably like 25 pieces. I thought I had like 15. And today, Adriana asked me, oh, show me the ones that you have. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like counting. I'm like, I have over 20 of them.
Wow, you need to display them.
Yeah, so then I met her and I said, I think I have all of them, but can I buy a bulk order because everybody always wants them? And then she said, Yeah, and then she said, "Oh my gosh, Barbara, I checked your record. You really have every single color."
And now you have a custom piece.
And then when we went to Bali, I met her, and we somehow came up in the conversation that how about we do one for feminine freedom, and that's how this one came about. And I'm really in love. We only ordered 25 pieces of this,
So
and I probably have like 10 left. Anyway, but they're so beautiful.
And they have the crystals on the back.
Yeah.
We'll have to,
Yes,
maybe
we need
we'll
to-
get a, maybe we'll do a 360 and we can add it to the end.
Yeah. But it's a really, for me, it just feels amazing to wear it. But again, when you put something on your body, I believe it's almost like, okay, you put makeup on and all that, you get your hair done. That doesn't necessarily make you be feminine, but it makes you feel a little more. But then you have other things that we need to cultivate. And that's what we go deeper into in the retreats, is that you get to cultivate other things within you, like how you show up in the world, how you move, how you feel, or how you allow yourself to feel.
How you speak to yourself is
Right.
the biggest one for me. The biggest one. I always get reminded, like, should I be saying that to myself? Like, should I be, because we critique ourselves, especially as women, you know.
And I always give this analogy, like how you speak to yourself and your body, right? It's, if you think of your body as a little child that you want to love and take care, how would you speak to her, right? And would you speak it with kind words, or would you just criticize? And sometimes, like, even like you look at yourself and you're like, oh, I don't like this on my body or that. And I believe for us to be able to really tap into the fullness of our being, we need to start connecting to our physical body to a different level and loving and appreciating, because most of us don't do that.
Right. That was one thing that changed for me, is when we do the movement. It's like touching your whole body, actually loving your body. Because, obviously some women, when you have kids, you have your little
Yeah,
baby.
of course.
And I've always, before, I used to kind of cover it. Now I love it. Like, I
Yeah.
actually love my body, every single part of it. Thin, not thin, I still love it.
Because you also learn to appreciate why actually you have this, right? Why?
Every single
Yes.
part of my body is what it is. So now I love my body all the way. Like, I don't, maybe, once you are 50, I start seeing this here, but I'm like, no, I love myself. I'm still beautiful.
Yeah.
You are so beautiful.
But that's because I've go to the retreats and, remind myself of everything that we learn. It's not something that it just happens. So for me, it's important
The
to go every
practice.
6 months, because it actually reminds me. It's like going to school. Like, if you want to be good in something, like going to Taekwondo, you have to do repetition. So for
Right.
me, super important, and Jason knows that, to understand that, because he sees me much better, and I come back happy, and then I love my friends and everybody. So
And that consistency is so important.
this has changed in many ways.
So speaking of consistency, so then we're going to have to do this again. Because we could sit here and chat forever. But if I could just ask the both of you, just to leave our audience with just a little tidbit of, what they could take away from feminine freedom, so then maybe they go and research more and follow you on Instagram and go to our website and see how they can be a part of the next retreat. What would you say to them?
I would say, don't be scared, because sometimes I think I was scared of trying to find out who I was or who I wanted to be. So don't be scared. Just allow yourself to see that you really can find something inside of you that can make you happy. As a mom, I know a lot of moms, especially, or a lot of women that they don't have spouses. They're always running, always rushing, thinking that there is not another way. So I was that way too. So allow yourself to just take a look at it. Just try it to see, because that's what I did. It was like a leap of faith, and it completely changed. So don't be afraid of checking the other side of something. I would say that.
So beautiful.
And
Thank you.
I think sometimes women don't even know that they're missing this part of themselves. I didn't know. I was happy. I felt like I had it all together. But then at moments I would feel that something wasn't aligned, and maybe it could be more. So I think it's just maybe an invitation for women to be open to the possibility that there's something more to life than what we are actually experiencing, because we actually don't know until we experience it. I was connected to Adriana in this for this past retreat, and Renata invited her, and I said, "Ooh, Renata, great call, because this girl, she doesn't even know what she's missing." And I talked to Adriana about it. She's like, "Barbara, I had no idea that all this part of myself was just put back to the side, right? Because it's something that we don't even notice until we actually experience it. So it's just being open to the possibility of something bigger than what you're already experiencing in your life. And I would love for every woman to just really give themselves a chance to discover that. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us on that very special Feminine Freedom and Victory chat. I'm so looking forward to continuing this conversation online. So please follow the Feminine Freedom and keep watching Victory TV. More episodes coming your way.